Hey, horror fans! Once again, it's the Horror Miser Monty G, and today we're going to talk about The Mummy. Now, The Mummy stars Tom Cruise, Annabella Wallace, and Russell Crowe. It's directed by Alan Kurtzman, and it's the start of Universal's Dark Universe. It's about their Universal monsters. Yes, they're bringing back the Universal monsters. Obviously, they've forgotten about what happened to I, Frankenstein, and Dracula Untold. Those movies were not good at all. Very poor representations of the classic monster movies that I grew up watching back when I was little. But they decided to bring them back, and they're going to start off with this. Now, I'm not a big Tom Cruise fan, although I do like his Mission Impossible movies. I thought it was pretty good in Edge of Tomorrow. Though I thought it was totally miscast in War of the Worlds. But let's see if Tom Cruise can bring this one home. Now, Tom Cruise stars as Nick Morton. He's a soldier of fortune. He likes to go around and doing all types of not hero stuff that we're used to seeing Tom Cruise does. In this one, he's a soldier trying to look for some buried treasure in the middle of northern Iraq with his friend Chris Vale. Unfortunately, they get stumbled upon this buried Egyptian chamber in the middle of northern Iraq. All of a sudden, his love interest in this film, Jenny, comes along, and they find out that this is an Egyptian tomb. And it's not a tomb. She finds that it's a prison containing, obviously, something containing a former priestess. If I got that right. But Nick decides to bring it on up because they believe this treasure, and they decide to take it along with him. And of course, everything goes to hell. The plane crashes, as we saw in the trailers. The mummy is free. She's played by Sophia Boutella. If you remember, she was in Kingsman: Secret Service with those crazy things she had for legs. But she's playing the mummy here. Yes, it's a female mummy. We'll talk about that later. Basically, she, in the beginning of the film, she wants to have the whole Egypt for herself, but then the Pharaoh has a son. She decides to sell her soul to the evil god Set. He's the Egyptian god of evil, or the evil the dead, as they call it. But everything went wrong. So she's cursed and buried alive, as we saw in the trailers. So now she's back, and all shit hits the fan. And that's basically what the plot of the movie is. So that's basically what the plot. So let's talk about the story. My bad. Let's talk about how the film looks great. Very high production value. The sets look great. Special effects are pretty good. Some of the scenes where the mummy is sucking the life out of some of the people is very creepy and very disturbing looking. The film looks great. Has nice set pieces. You can tell the production value is very well made. So there's nothing wrong as far as how the cinematography looks and how the film. So the film looks great. So that's one plus for that. The acting is pretty good. Tom Cruise does what Tom Cruise does. He throws himself into the film. He does his own stunts, so you can tell he's making sure every fall or whatchamacallit that they do. The scene where the plane is crashing was very well made. I thought that was very good. And he does a very good job. The only problem that I have with this movie is the story itself. It seems conjoined. From what I understand, it took 6 people to write it, and it looks like all their ideas were put into this, making this seem like a very jumbled mess. Doesn't know where they want to go. Doesn't know he wants to be campy. Doesn't want to be horror. And that's a big problem with this film. It's just not sustainable enough to make this a coherent film. And that's probably the big problem with this movie. Now, despite the jumbled storyline, I did find the movie a bit entertaining. I love Russell Crowe's part. I won't say who he plays. If you want to know who he plays, if you want to read the reviews, if you want to read the storyline about the character who he plays, I'm going to keep that secret. If you kind of figure out who he is, that's good for you. It's good for you. If you want to watch somebody else's spoilers, because I'm not going to spoil it, but he actually, one of the better parts, I thought he was the big part in the film. And I kind of understood the beginning part of the film where he explains Ahmet's story. It's basically what the first mummies did in all 3 films, where they talk about the cursed person, whether it was Imhotep or the Jay Lee's character in the 3rd mummy film. So they do it here too. I wasn't disappointed. I was hoping they would go do a little different, but it was all exposition. They wanted to explain the story. I really didn't have a problem with that. I just wish he would have tried something a little different though. But I had no problem with it. Two other things I didn't like about this film, mainly Chris Vale's character. I'm assuming he was going to be the comic relief, and he was for a bit part of the film. Then he became a bit annoying. Like every time he came on the screen, this guy again. Oh man, I was so glad, that when he wasn't on the screen, but he became a bit annoying. But another huge disappointment was Annabella Wallace's character. Come on, guys, it's the 21st century. We just saw Wonder Woman. So you're going to have this damsel in distress again? You really brought nothing to the character. What's all? I mean, she does explain a lot, and she guides Tom Cruise's character everywhere around. But she's always needs rescuing, and it's like, come on, let's have more stronger female characters, people. Enough with the damsel in distress. It's just a waste. Either you're going to make her a strong camp, either you're going to have a strong female lead, or don't have a female lead at all. She's more like eye candy, and I don't like that. We're in the 21st century now. She could have been a better, stronger character, and they need to do a little bit better. So if they're going to continue with this universe, make sure the next female character isn't this one. As for the mummy itself, I thought Sofia Boutella did a pretty good job on it. She was seductive, sexy, and frightening, and I thought she did a pretty good job. Really couldn't do much with again, because the story, how the screenplay was written. She really doesn't have much to work with, so she does what she can. But I thought she actually did a good job. So basically, Annabella Wallace's character, Scott Vale's in the screenplay, the main reasons why the film doesn't do as good as it should, and I can understand why a lot of people didn't like the film. It's not like I didn't like it. It's passable. I don't know what everyone else was expecting. It's okay. It's not bad as everyone says it is. It's just that the screenplay is just jumbled mess. You have another damsel in distress that doesn't really do any good, and Chris Vale's character is just too annoying. So those are the main reasons why the film suffers the way it did. But it's still an okay movie. You want to see it if you like Tom Cruise. If you want to see it, fine. It's not a bad movie. There are worse movies that are out there besides The Mummy. So on my scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give The Mummy a 5.5. So, did you see The Mummy? Have you seen The Mummy? Comment below and let me know, and we'll discuss about it. Have you seen any of the other incantations of The Mummy, whether it's Brandon Fraser's trilogy, whether it's the original Mummy itself, or any other movies that have mummies in them? Comment below and let me know, and we'll talk about it. So that's my review of The Mummy. All I can tell you is that if you want to see it, take your chances. If you want to wait till it comes on DVD, that's up to you. You'll still enjoy it, just not a good way to start the Dark Universe. So that's my review of The Mummy. Once again, I'm the Horror Miser Monty G. All my social media links are in the description below. Once again, subscribe to my channel, ring that bell so you can get any notifications when I post my videos up on here. I'll have a video up more likely tomorrow for the third episode of Fear the Walking Dead, so I'll have that up tomorrow as well. So once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as the Horror Miser Monty G, and always remember that horror rules.